Lakhs and lakhs of students in schools and colleges across streams, at least once in a year, face those harrowing few days when they have to appear in examinations. While the exam day anxiety could be attributed to a lot of reasons and factors, some say the memory-based exam system adds to a lot of pressure on students and should be replaced with open book examination system. That's what we are debating on Crossfire today. I'm joined by Riya Mehta on my right and Deepthi Karat on my left, both journalism students. Deepthi, you feel that we should switch to open book examination system. Why do you feel that?
We have to choose, it's high time to switch to a new system because this system...
You think the one that we already have is not working out fine?
It is not actually. Like, as far as I learned from a different syllabus. I am from Kerala and I learned from Kerala syllabus. Like what my syllabus taught me is not, mugging up all things, and it's not about writing whatever exactly what teacher taught you. We have to write and we have to think on our own and write our own ideas and write regarding that. So I think we should give a chance to other people to let them know what is open book system, and then to explore more on that.
Right. Riya? And you feel that that is okay, that is how it should be?
I think a little bit of stress is good, because in a way that stress helps you to be serious about certain things. Now, for example, in a test that you are not too serious about, that you say, okay, I'm not going to take stress, I'm not going to worry, I have a book in front of me, so what, I don't need to study at home. So you go in that test, eventually you will realize that you will not do as well as you would have if you had taken a bit of stress, because you would be worried, you would work extra hard, take an extra effort to, read up more or try and understand the concept better. So there is that kind of stress, I feel personally, is really important in life. You have to learn how to manage stress, because life is all about stress. You're going to be stressed when you go to work and you go anywhere else in life, you're going to be stressed. So you can't just say, oh, let's take the easy way out and let's just have an open book in front of us.
Very valid point that the incentive to do well, there has to be a little pressure for you to perform, and the memory-based examination system does very well.
The world is really competitive now. Like everybody wants to reach first and everybody wants to score well. So they are getting, they are undergoing the pressure from their parents, teachers, peer pressure. So it's very different and difficult for them to, to write and to memorize everything. I don't think so. I'm not a person who can write, memorize and write. So for me, I think if I get an opportunity to read and write and make my point clear, I think that it's not about reading, going there and reading the book for the first time. Like you should, and people will go and read them before, and then you get you don't have to worry about much things when you go and write an open exam. So that kind of competitive spirit, it is there. By the end of the day, we all want to reach first and we all want to earn well. So we undergo that pressure, and then this pressure level is high these days.
Right. Let's talk about that pressure. In fact, an important distinction that we should make while talking about it is, I feel, the fact that the pressure is not the academic pressure that we're talking about. It's the peer pressure, parental pressure, the pressure on a child to do well in an examination. That is actually what pushes him to sort of, face such anxiety on examination day. Do you agree with that, Riya?
Yes, it does, but then you have to learn to manage that, because for so many years, all of us have been going through the same pressures. Not like suddenly there's new pressures on us. It is the same for everybody, our parents, our grandparents. Everyone had this thing of doing well and getting good scores. But then you have to learn to manage your time well. So if you don't have that stress, how will you know that you have to, okay, I have to give this much time to my studies, this much time for play, this much time for talking to my friends. So you wouldn't be able to manage that in later life. How will you know how to manage your time if you don't do it in school life?
Right. So examinations are not just a test of memory, are not just a test of what you've learned. They also sort of, help you get those habits which are which might be very good for you in life later. That is habits like time management, handling pressure, etc. And one way of doing that is, of course, those 3 hours, you have to sort of, answer all those questions in that limited amount of time and do the best. And you feel that, no, there should be a book right in front of a student and he should be allowed to flip the pages.
Yeah. I basically feel like there are so many people, like some of my classmates actually, they're very scared of exam. Like exam is like a nightmare for them. I think for those people it will be very useful. Like they don't have, there is so much pressure undergoing. So like they if they have a book in front of them, they don't have to be worried. They can write. They have got enough time. They can research and write at their own. It's not about plagiarizing whatever it's in the textbook. It's about writing and getting that essence and writing on your own.
And of course, it might not be very easy.
It's not very easy.
But you have those 3 hours. Time hasn't been sort of assuming.
Even there comes the time management. You got to read it, you got to write it. So I think you get to manage the time more here.
Right, right. So the argument that, well, it's not just simple copy pasting. It's not as if you're searching something on Google and just copy pasting whatever you see in front of you. It's a lot of application of mind as well.
It is, honestly, it kind of, you'll end up spending more time because you have so much
so
in front of you.
Wastage of time.
Yeah, it is going to be because you have a stipulated 3 hours in which you have to write a certain amount of questions. Now, if you have so much information in front of you, you have to know how to filter it, which is also quite difficult and it requires a lot of time. Another thing I would like to say, for example, if you have open book exams and everyone will be used to, studying opening from a book and giving the exams, if when you go get a surgery done, would you want your surgeon to have a book open in front of him and he'll be doing a surgery by looking at the book? So would you ever want that to happen? Would you trust your life with a surgeon like that? So if you grow up like that, you will do that in later life as well.
But you wouldn't mind your pilot looking at the flight manual while he's flying the plane, right?
No.
DP, how do you contradict that?
No, that is actually examination and a practical work. You can't just compare both of it. Yeah, basically we want to, like everybody is learning to become someone or become someone in life. So exactly, I don't think so. Like someone should read and do the practical things. Basically, the main motive behind the examination is to learn. You have to learn, and then it's like you're testing what you learned. So I don't think so it should be based on memory. It's just not just only based on memory. This anxiety and this pressure and this stress that's undergoing by these all these public exam students and everywhere, it's going to be 10th examination, 12th examination is considered as the biggest. Yeah, it is considered as the biggest.
Hurdle, of your academic life.
Not even academic, that in your life, the most,
the hype around
hype, it is always like that only. Like for me, the results, when you get to know the results of that, maybe you may not, maybe the topper won't be able to write the exam well because of the stress, because of this pressure she might have. Recently, we have example from, Bihar, where they got to write the exam and people where we saw the videos where parents and friends helping them to cheat. Why?
Right.
It's about
cheating.
Yeah, cheating.
And that I will throw straight away at Riya.
Cheating would happen even if you have a book in front of you. If someone does
That's the wrong way of dealing with pressure.
Yeah, I think pressure is something that you're going to have to face in life. You can't get away from it. You can't just take the easy road out. And there are many positives. The whole point of going to school, of sitting in front of a teacher and listening to that teacher is to be evaluated to know if you've learned and understood what the teacher is saying. Now, if you just have a book in front of you, everyone's going to have the same answers. What is the difference? What is the point in, going to school? You can just do that at home. You can just open a book, give your own exam because it's an open book exam. What's the point of going to school? The whole institution of schooling is kind of flawed then that way. But that's not the point. You can't say that.
You've been very scathing in your criticism of the open book examination system. But would you not concede that examination, of course, is not just a test of memory? There are other things which are being tested here at the same time. So would you not concede that hence, since, it's also about how creative a student is, everyone has gone through the same books, but the manner in which we learn is different, right? And how do you feel that the closed book examination system that we have does do justice to that?
It is about an individual. So if an individual is creative, that creativity will come out in closed book exams as well. So if you have understood a concept, reading different concepts, you putting all those concepts together in your own, the way you've perceived them, is the whole point of learning and educating yourself, and the only point of testing and getting to know if you've understood that concept. So that's why I think not having something in front of you, guiding you throughout is really important to know whether you've understood or not. And in later life, to actually imbibe that knowledge and keep it with you forever.
And what about the argument, Deepthi, that if there is no manner, I mean, if you're not going to have the kind of examinations that we have, closed book examinations, then students going to become passive. Oh, well, on the examination day, I'll still have a book in front of me. I'll flip the pages. I know where all that I have to mug up, perhaps in this case, is just the index. Which topic, which page, and I'll just copy it down as it is.
It's not that easy, you know, as you talk, it's not that easy.
Right.
Like there will be classes, there will be discussions, there will be projects and assignments people do. And I think that is going to help you in all your thoughts, and like you get to read and write. It's not about copy pasting what is there in the textbook. It's about you have to read it and you have to write and you have to think and write whatever you want in your mind. Like it's kind of a creative process. Like it's not whole point of learning is not just memorizing what you learned and just writing it down. Right. Memorizing something, some may not, I'm not good at memorizing things. Right. So for me, I think it's the best. So for you, the system definitely works against you. Exactly. So I think like some of my friends are doing law. So they have an open book examination. Most of them will be having open book examination. Like they carry suitcase of notebooks, textbooks, and they go for the examination. Yes. And then, but in law it's different because it's the same, and you can in the same. But I think someone who is very creative, who is very adamant about things, what she learned, and she can think a lot about things, I think it's for her or him. It's the best way.
Concluding remarks?
Yeah, so first of all, I don't think it's all about memory. You don't need to memorize in a closed book exam. You have to understand. So understand does not involve memory. I personally am not good at memorizing, but I'm good at understanding it like a story. And that's how I give my exam.
I've been very bad at it myself, yes.
And we all have passed, and we're sitting here right now because we've gone through the closed book exams and we've made it through them. Right. So it is about finding that way out and finding a creative way to learn and understand concepts, which is not going to happen because one will become lackadaisical. They'll think, oh, we have an open book.
Well, by your own admission, you are not good at memorizing, but you will still want to stick to the closed book examination system.
Contradicting her own words.
Deepthi, conclude the debate for us.
Okay, I am still in the, after hearing her points, I still think that open book will, because it's high time, we have to change, we have to change and think about the new pattern. Like it is followed in many places in Western countries, and they have proved it. So we have got an opportunity now. It's been years now, and then I think we should try it out and come to a conclusion that it may work, it may not work. I personally think that it is going to work because people are going through this pressure and the stress. So if they have a book in front of them, if they have so many helpful things in front, so it is going to help them for sure.
Yeah, please.
I think India, taking this as an example, India brings out one of the most smartest people in the world. So let's just
I'm sure a lot of countries would like to contend that, but on that note, we will, very interesting debate. On that note, we will conclude, but don't go anywhere as there's a lot more coming up on the other side.